going now. So yesterday we introduced perfect competition, and we talked about the characteristics of the perfectly competitive firm or the perfectly competitive industry. We looked at the fact that there are many small firms. They're all selling the same product. They have no market power. There are no barriers to entry or exit. There is perfect information and there is free mobility of resources. So what does that mean for the firm then? Today's lesson is looking at in terms of diagrams, its cost, its revenue curves, profit maximization, where it chooses to operate and why. So if you look at the learning outcome, a lot of it is about diagrams. So explaining the shape of the perfectly competitive firm's average revenue and marginal revenue curves, specifically this idea that it's based on the assumption that each firm is a price taker. And the fact that those curves, their average revenue and marginal revenue curves, are actually derived from the market equilibrium, the market diagram for the whole industry, rather than just the firm. We're also looking at, for perfectly competitive firms, it is possible to make abnormal profit, normal profit, or negative economic profit, in other words, a loss in the short run, okay, but only in the short run. We're also going to introduce something called the shutdown price and the break-even price, and talk about when would a loss-making firm shut down in the short run. So there's quite a lot of content to get through today. We'll see how we get on. Obviously, if you feel that it's going too fast or you need a little bit more time, please just say. Right, I'm just going to stop the recording for a minute. So based on those characteristics, we need to think about what does that mean for the firm in terms of its cost, its revenue, and its profit. So we're going to start off by looking at revenue. Now, when we look at perfect competition, we often have to do two diagrams side by side. So we're producing a diagram on the left-hand side which reflects the market or the industry. And then the diagram on the right-hand side reflects the individual firm. So in this case, our market diagram is just the same as any other market. We've just got a demand and supply diagram. So we know that within a market, there's a certain amount of demand, a certain amount of supply, and then that determines the price, whatever the product is. We also know one of the characteristics of perfect competition is that firms within that market are price takers. They have no control over the price. Therefore, whatever the market determines is the price that that firm has to charge. Therefore, it doesn't matter how much that firm produces, what its quantity is, it can charge the same price. So its demand curve is perfectly elastic. And the demand curve is equal to both the AR curve and the MR curve. So demand is equal to AR, average revenue, which is equal to MR, marginal revenue. Because the firm is a price taker, it can sell as much as it wants and charge the same price because it is such a small part of the overall market. So that explanation you'll just see there below the diagram. All right, so have a read through those and you can see the key points is if they try to charge a higher price, so if they put their price up higher, no one would buy their products because everyone else in the market is charging this price, a lower price. And as all the products are identical, there is no advantage to them trying to charge a higher price. They won't be able to. Their sales would be zero. If they tried to charge at a lower price, it would be pointless because everyone would just copy them because there's free information. And therefore, you'd end up selling the same amount just at a lower price. So there's no point. So you might as well just stick to that price. Hence, you are a price taker. Okay, so we know because of what we looked at when we looked at revenue, when a firm is a price taker, when they have no impact on the price, their average revenue is equal to their marginal revenue, which is equal to the demand curve, which is just equal to price. So this whole thing here. So this is the diagram we looked at when we looked at total revenue. When you have no power over price, you can just keep charging the same price for however many units you sell. So your total revenue just goes up in a straight line. Therefore, your demand, so at that price, 1 unit for $10, so at that price, $10, you can just keep selling more and more units at that price. That is your demand. Your marginal revenue for each unit you sell, you get another $10, so it's equal to your marginal revenue. And as you're getting $10 for every unit, your average revenue is $10 as well. So you get this perfectly horizontal demand curve, which is equal to price, which is equal to marginal revenue, which is equal to average revenue. So the question we have to ask then is, in the short run, where will the perfectly competitive firm operate? So today we're just interested in the short run. We'll go on to the long run next lesson. Today, just the short run. Unless we are told otherwise, we are always going to assume that the firm will operate at the point of profit maximization. We know it's the short run. At least one of the factors of production is fixed, and the number of firms in the industry is also fixed. Because if you want to enter an industry, if you want to leave the industry, you have to vary your inputs. Therefore, in the short run, there are no new firms entering, there are no firms leaving, as this cannot happen in the short run. As the price is set by the market, all the firm has to do is decide how much is it going to produce, what is its level of output. That decision is going to be based on profit maximization generally. We know that the point of profit maximization is where MR equals to MC. We have our MR curve, we've drawn our MR curve, we know what that looks like for perfect competition. So now we need to add our MC curve and our other cost curves as well. You don't need those other cost curves to decide where you're producing, but you do need them to see what the level of profit is and other factors. So it says there, draw what you think this diagram would look like. Compare this to the diagram I will draw on the board and explain what is going on. Now, obviously, this is a little bit difficult to do as compared to what we would do in a lesson. So I'm just going to stop that at the moment. So hopefully we've all got something that is similar to that diagram I showed you while we weren't recording. Has the firm in your diagram, though, made a normal profit, an abnormal profit, or a loss? How do we know? Now, we're going to talk about something here a little more general, and we can apply that whenever we look at different diagrams. We know that profit equals total revenue minus total cost. Now, if we divide everything by Q, so profit divided by Q equals total revenue divided by Q equals total cost divided by Q. Why are we dividing by Q? I suppose we're just trying to get an average. So profit per unit equals revenue per unit minus cost per unit. Okay. We also know that, therefore, that TR divided by Q is our average revenue, and TC divided by Q is our average total cost. So it's the same as saying profit divided by Q divided by quantity is the same as average revenue minus average total cost. We also know from what we've looked at before that price is equal to average revenue. Therefore, it follows that the profit divided by Q, or profit per unit, is the same as price minus average total cost. Therefore, to find the level of total profit, we have to multiply profit divided by Q by Q. Okay, should be, hopefully that's straightforward. The other thing we need to know in terms of making a profit or a loss is if price is greater than ATC, then we're making abnormal profit because profit is going to be greater than 0. If price is equal to ATC, so therefore P minus ATC is 0, then we're going to be making 0 economic profit. If price is less than ATC, the firm is making a loss or negative economic profit. So what does that mean in terms of our diagrams? So these are all the possible situations that you can get in the short run with perfect competition. Economic profit, normal profit, negative economic profit or a loss, but the firm continues to produce, a negative economic profit or a loss in the short run, which is exactly equal to the shutdown price. So whether the firm continues to operate or not makes no difference. And then negative economic profit or loss where the firm will shut down because the loss is greater than what it would do than if it shut down. Okay, so let me just go through these in a little more detail. So this is the first diagram, and this is probably the most common diagram for short run perfect competition. We are producing where MR, marginal revenue, this line here, is equal to MC, marginal cost. In other words, we are producing Q1 units. Okay, just here. At this point, the price is equal to A. Now, where this cuts the ATC curve is just here at B. Okay, so therefore, for every unit we sell, we are making a profit of A minus B. So for each unit, we're making this amount of profit. We are selling this many units, 0Q1, so then 0Q1 multiplied by A minus B gives us this area of total profit. Now, as that is greater than 0, it is abnormal profit. Okay. On this one, where we operate Q2, marginal cost MC is exactly equal to average total cost. Therefore, we're making 0 economic profit or normal profit. Here, where we're operating Q3, our average total cost, C, is greater than our average revenue, D. Cost is greater than revenue, we're making a loss. However, we are still making more than our average variable cost. Our price, our average revenue, is covering our average variable cost. Therefore, this here is making a contribution to fixed cost. Therefore, we are better off by continuing to operate, because if we shut down, the loss would be greater. The loss would be the gap between here and here, which is our fixed cost per unit, our average fixed cost. Whereas in D, the loss is equal to our average fixed costs. Therefore, if we operate or we shut down, the loss is the same. It's called the shutdown price. At this point, the firm can decide whether to carry on, shut down. Financially, it will be in exactly the same position. And then finally here, our price is less than our average variable cost. Therefore, we are losing more money by continuing to operate than we would do if we shut down. So the firm will shut down. Okay, you can see all of that put together on one diagram there, following these rules. All right. Okay, I'm just about to stop the video.